5 dangers of space travel that you might not know about. Space travel. It's the stuff of dreams, right? Ever since we first looked up at the stars, humanity has been longing to explore the cosmos. From the first human footprint on the moon to the tantalizing possibility of one day setting foot on Mars, the allure of space is undeniable. But let's be clear, folks. Venturing beyond Earth's atmosphere is no walk in the park. It's a thrilling frontier, no doubt, but one fraught with inherent dangers. In this video, we're going to dive deep into 5 serious risks of space travel that might just make you appreciate the comforts of our home planet a little bit more. Alright, space fans, let's talk about something you don't see, smell, or taste, but is a constant threat beyond Earth's protective bubble radiation. See, here on Earth, we're lucky ducks. We've got this fantastic magnetic field that acts like a planetary shield, deflecting most of the harmful cosmic rays and solar radiation constantly bombarding us from space. But out there, in the vast expanse between celestial bodies, not so much. Astronauts venturing beyond Earth's protective embrace are bombarded by a constant barrage of these high-energy particles. We're talking about levels significantly higher than what we experience on Earth, and trust me, this isn't the kind of exposure you want on your resume. Think of it like this. Imagine yourself as a target at a cosmic shooting range. Every second, you're being peppered with tiny, invisible bullets of energy. Now, most of these particles are blocked by your spacesuit and the spacecraft's shielding, but some, the sneakiest ones, manage to get through. And what happens when these high-energy particles collide with your body's cells? Well, they can wreak havoc, damaging DNA, increasing the risk of cancer, and potentially leading to a whole host of long-term health problems. It's like playing a cosmic game of Russian roulette with your health, and unfortunately astronauts are the ones rolling the dice. The longer astronauts spend in space, the more radiation their bodies absorb. It's a cumulative effect, like slowly filling a bucket with cosmic raindrops. And while space agencies like NASA are constantly working on better shielding technologies and countermeasures, the risk of radiation exposure remains a significant concern for long-duration missions, especially those venturing further into deep space. Here on Earth, we take gravity for granted. It keeps our feet on the ground, our coffee in our cups, and importantly, it provides a constant force that our muscles and bones need to work against. This constant push and pull, the simple act of standing up, walking around, lifting objects, it's what keeps our musculoskeletal system strong and healthy. But in the microgravity environment of space, it's a different story. Imagine floating effortlessly, your limbs weightless, every movement seemingly effortless. Sounds relaxing, right? Well, in the short term, sure, but for astronauts spending weeks, months, or even years in space, this lack of gravity can have a significant impact on their physical health, particularly their muscles and bones. You see, without the constant pull of gravity, our muscles and bones don't have to work as hard, and when they're not being challenged, they start to deteriorate. It's a classic case of use it or lose it. Astronauts can lose muscle mass and strength, and their bones can become thinner and weaker, increasing the risk of fractures. Think of it like this. Imagine your muscles and bones are like a team of construction workers responsible for maintaining a building. On Earth, they're constantly busy, lifting heavy materials, reinforcing structures, keeping everything in tip-top shape. But in space, with gravity out of the picture, their workload is drastically reduced. They're sitting around twiddling their thumbs, and eventually they start to get a little rusty. Now, astronauts aren't just floating around all day long. They have rigorous exercise routines they follow to combat the effects of microgravity. They strap themselves into specialized exercise equipment, pulling on resistance bands, lifting weights, even running on treadmills that simulate the effects of gravity. It's like trying to maintain a workout routine in a constantly shifting, weightless environment. But even with these countermeasures, some degree of muscle and bone loss is inevitable during prolonged space missions. And this poses a significant challenge, particularly for missions to Mars or beyond, where astronauts would need to be in top physical condition upon arrival to explore a new world. Chapter 3: Mind Matters. The psychological challenges of space travel. Space travel isn't just physically demanding, it's incredibly taxing on the human psyche. Imagine being confined to a cramped spacecraft, millions of miles from home. The isolation, the confinement, the constant awareness of risks. It's enough to push anyone to their limits. Astronauts are cut off from loved ones with limited, delayed communication. This separation can lead to loneliness and depression. And then there's the confinement. Months in a small space with the same people can create friction and stress. The constant awareness of risk adds to the psychological pressure. Space agencies prepare astronauts with psychological training and support. Despite these efforts, the psychological toll is undeniable. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit that astronauts endure these challenges and perform at such a high level. Chapter 4. When technology fails, the ever-present danger of equipment malfunctions. We put a lot of faith in technology, especially when it comes to space travel. From the rockets that launch us into orbit to the life support systems that keep us alive in the harsh vacuum of space, our lives depend on the flawless performance of countless complex machines. But as anyone who's ever had their computer crash at the worst possible moment knows, technology isn't infallible. And in space, even a minor malfunction can have catastrophic consequences. Imagine this: you're an astronaut on a spacewalk, floating 250 miles above Earth, when suddenly your tether snaps, sending you drifting uncontrollably away from the International Space Station. Or perhaps you're on a mission to Mars when a micrometeoroid punctures your spacecraft's hull, causing a rapid decompression. These aren't scenarios from a science fiction movie. They're real risks that astronauts face every time they venture beyond Earth's atmosphere. The harsh environment of space is unforgiving. Extreme temperatures, micrometeoroids, and even solar radiation can all take a toll on spacecraft and equipment, and when things go wrong, repairs can be incredibly challenging, if not impossible, in the zero-gravity environment. Remember Apollo 13? What should have been a routine mission to the moon turned into a desperate fight for survival when an oxygen tank exploded, crippling the spacecraft. The crew, stranded hundreds of thousands of miles from Earth, had to rely on their ingenuity, duct tape, and the support of mission control to jury-rig a solution and make it back home safely. The Apollo 13 mission is a stark reminder that space exploration is fraught with danger, and even the most advanced technology can fail. It's a testament to the skill and bravery of astronauts and the dedication of the teams on the ground that we continue to push the boundaries of human exploration despite these risks. Chapter 5. The Fiery Gauntlet, the Perils of Atmospheric Re-entry. Returning to Earth after a journey in space might seem like the easy part, but it's actually one of the most dangerous phases of any space mission. Imagine plummeting through the Earth's atmosphere at over 17,000 miles per hour, the friction-generating temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun. That's what astronauts face during atmospheric re-entry. It's a delicate dance between speed and heat. The spacecraft, entering the atmosphere at such a high velocity, compresses the air in front of it, creating a shockwave of superheated plasma. This plasma, reaching temperatures of thousands of degrees, would incinerate a spacecraft in an instant if it weren't for the heat shield. Think of the heat shield as the ultimate superhero, sacrificing itself to protect the spacecraft and its precious human cargo. This specially designed material, often made of ablative materials that burn away in a controlled manner, absorbs and dissipates the intense heat, preventing it from reaching the spacecraft's interior. But even with the protection of the heat shield, re-entry is a bumpy ride. The spacecraft experiences extreme G-forces, shaking and vibrating violently as it plunges through the atmosphere. And if anything goes wrong with the heat shield, a crack, a loose tile, a design flaw, the consequences can be catastrophic. The Space Shuttle Columbia disaster in 2003 is a tragic reminder of the dangers of re-entry. A piece of foam insulation had broken off during launch, damaging the shuttle's heat shield. Upon re-entry, the damaged heat shield failed to protect the spacecraft, leading to its disintegration and the loss of all 7 astronauts on board. Re-entry is a testament to the precision of engineering and the bravery of astronauts. It's a fiery gauntlet that stands between the thrill of space exploration and the safety of home. Outro. So, would you take the risk? From the invisible threat of radiation to the fiery gauntlet of atmospheric re-entry, space travel is fraught with dangers. It's a testament to human ingenuity, courage, and our unyielding desire to explore that we dare to venture beyond our home planet. While we've made incredible strides in space exploration, the risks are real, and the challenges are immense. But that's the thing about us humans, isn't it? We're drawn to the unknown, compelled to push the boundaries of what's possible. So, what about you? Knowing the risks, would you take the leap into the great unknown? Let me know in the comments below.